Hello everyone. Today we'll be studying one of the most important topic from the exam point of view, and that is the soils. Now in this topic we'll majorly focus upon the various kinds of processes that led to the formation of our soil. Now what exactly is the soil? We all know that soil is a thin layer of material covering our earth's surface and is formed from the weathering of rocks. It is mainly composed of mineral particles, organic materials, air, water, and living organisms, all of which interact slowly yet constantly. Now let us look at what exactly is the meaning of pedogenesis. Pedogenesis is the process of soil formation as regulated by the effects of place, environment, and history. Biogeochemical processes act to both create and destroy order within the soils. Now, these alterations lead to the development of layers. Each layer is termed as horizon, and altogether they are termed as soil horizons. They are distinguished by differences in color, structure, texture, and chemistry. These features occur in patterns of soil type distribution, forming in responses to differences in soil forming factors. Now let us look at the processes of soil formation. It mainly depends upon the presence of new soil material which is either acquired by denudation or deposition. Denudation is the aberration of present rock material by the action of ice, water, and wind. Deposition, on the other hand, is the accumulation of new materials that have been eroded. Deposition, on the other hand, is the accumulation of new materials that have been eroded from one place to another, such as river gravels or blown gravels, or the creation of new rocks due to volcanic action or the uplift of the ocean. These two actions are responsible for availing new parent material that begins the process of soil formations. Examples of new parent materials include rocks, losses, gravel, alluvium, scree, and sand. Soil then begins to form from these materials. Soil then begins to form from these materials through the process of weathering together with other chemical and physical processes. So let's look at the soil process in detail. First one is the accumulation of materials. Materials are added to the soils such as organic matter and decomposing materials or new mineral materials deposited by the force of ice, water or wind, and they accumulate over time. This happens in the top layer of the soil. In poorly drained soils, organic material accumulate since waterlogging prevents it from being oxidized or broken down by soil organisms. When we talk about the well-drained soils, the materials accumulate when they are held up by the root systems. Depositions by the forces of wind, water and ice equally contribute to the accumulation of new materials. Some plants, with the help of bacteria, fix atmospheric nitrogen and ammonia compounds into the soil as nitrates. Now let us look at the second process, that is the leaching and loss. Through the movement of water, wind, ice, or the uptake of the accumulated material by plants, the new particles, including clay, organic matter, silt, and other chemical compounds, are leached and eroded away or taken up from the soil by plants. As a result, the physical and chemical composition of the new accumulated material, together with the soil parent material, are altered. Hence, there is a change in the composition of the soil. Prime example is the leaching out of some carbonates, magnesium, and other minerals. Now let us come to the third process, that is the transformation and alluviation. Here the soil particles held in the suspension form after the leaching, such as clay, are transformed after which they accumulate. Now transformation is the chemical weathering of silt, sand and the formation of clay minerals, as well as the change of organic minerals into decay resistant organic matter. After the clay and other accumulated materials are washed from the upper horizons and deposited in the lower horizons. The plants and animals are also responsible for the transformation of the soil. Now let us come to the fourth and the last process of soil formation, podsolization and translocation. Place Now, what exactly is the meaning of podsolization? Podsolization takes place when strong acidic solutions break down the clay minerals. Now, accordingly, aluminum, silica, and iron form complex materials together with organic compounds in the soil. These materials and the other accumulations are translocated within the profile and or between the horizons. After a relatively extended time, the movement of the accumulated mineral precipitate such as iron oxide minerals are responsible for the reddish and brownish color of the different soil horizons. The same applies to the alteration in structure, texture and other mineral composition. Soil horizons are then cemented by the carbonate, iron, and silica minerals. For instance, sandy soils are normally cemented by iron. Here, the soil drainage and air spaces will depend on the resultant soil type and the compaction and cementation process. So this was all about the processes of the soil formation.